Let's turn this bad boy down. Welcome in, guys. We got our good luck jersey on here. Those that know. Whenever we put this jersey on, man, something about it, we just run good. We've worn it twice now in a poker tournament. Finished first the first time that we wore it, and finished second the first time we wore it. Finished first the second time that we wore it. So hoping for some run good here with this jersey on, guys, in Thursday Night Football when the Washington Commanders take on the Green Bay Packers. Guys, this game has playoff implications written all over it for the NFC. You got a team that everybody's picking to win the Super Bowl now in the Green Bay Packers, and a team that people think are going to make a big step forward in the... What's up, EDP? How you doing, my guy? How you doing? A team in the Washington Commanders that people think are really going to take a step forward with JD5, blasting onto the scene last year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. A lot of people are backing him in my close circle for MVP this year. But nonetheless, let's just take all the hype out of it, and let's just recap both of these games from Week 1, starting with the Washington Commanders and the New York Giants. So I know the score was 21-6, but if you go back and actually watch that game, it's really... I thought it was actually closer than that. The offense for the Commanders, it's not like they were rolling and like putting up big numbers. JD5 went 19 of 30. He threw 30 times, if that tells you how close of a game it was. 30 times. And that's actually a bet that we're going to be looking at for tomorrow's game, his pass attempts. But he threw 30 times, completed 19 for 233, and a touchdown to Zach Ertz early in the game. He was sacked 3 times. You got to tip your hat to Brian Burns, the defense for the Giants, who had 2 of those 3 sacks. So they were pressuring him pretty well. They were getting to him, making him, not really forcing him out of the pocket, but just kind of like making him move his feet, not get comfortable. And then you like turn to the running game. The rookie JCM Krosky Merritt that everybody is on for tomorrow, guys. Literally everybody I talk to is all about this guy. He had 10 carries, led the backfield in carries. Jaden Daniels actually had 11, so he had one more carry than Krosky Merritt. But Krosky Merritt ran for 82 yards, averaged almost 8.5 yards touch in a tutter. He even ripped off a 42-yarder in the second half, which was pretty sweet to see. So you look at that, he got over half his yards off of one carry. So it's not like they were running the ball super effectively against the Giants. But that backfield, like they got 4 guys that could go at any time, right? They got McNichols, they got Eckler, they got this young guy in Krosky Merritt, and then they even have a guy in Chris Rodriguez as well that a lot of people are going to be... They were really hyping up C-Rod, is what they're calling him, Chris Rodriguez, in the preseason. He was a healthy scratch Sunday, but if you look, like his odds to score are a lot better than Jeremy McNichols for this upcoming game. So it's like, do the books know something that we don't? I feel like McNichols could be a healthy scratch tomorrow, and C-Rod could get that third running back snaps. So just something to kind of monitor with the backfield. I'm trying to stay away from like rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, things of that nature when it comes to those 4 guys until we get later on in the season and can get a better feel for who's actually going to get the bulk of the carries and who's going to like see that rotation. So I don't know why this turned off. I didn't want to turn it off. We'll listen to some tunes too while we build this parlay. And then you look at receiving. Deebo Samuel had 7 receptions. I was really disappointed in Terry McLaurin's target rate Sunday. So a lot of people think that, I don't know if he was holding out or just contract negotiations or what it was, but a lot of people think that's why he didn't play Sunday. At least that's why he didn't put up the numbers he usually does. But his like snap count, it really didn't take that big of a dive from last year if you go back and look. So I think it's just, new toy in Deebo Samuel. Cliff Kingsbury just kind of wants to use the new toy, see what he has out of him. So I kind of look for Terry McLaurin to be more involved Thursday, and I look for Deebo to kind of take a step back. But again, I'm trying to stay away from, betting those alt overs of Terry or touchdown props until we actually see exactly what's going on. So that's kind of the recap for me from the Washington Commanders side. Now, if we go back and look at the Packers, whenever they played the Detroit Lions, man, it's tough to gauge it. Really tough to gauge it because the Lions have a new OC in DC. So it's like, was it the Green Bay Packers putting on a clinic on both ends? Or was it Denver, or not Denver, was it Detroit just struggling? Let's go back here and look at the box score. So on the other hand, JD5 threw for 30 times. Jordan Love only had 22 pass attempts for a $188 and 2 touchdowns. He had a really solid rating in QBR. Took care of the ball well. He had 3 carries for 4 yards. Josh Jacobs is a man, an absolute man among boys. 19 touches for 66 yards and a touchdown. He's definitely the bell cow back out of that Packer backfield, no doubt about it. I know last year we tapped Chris Brooks a few times for anytime touchdown. He had 1 carry yesterday. Had 1 reception for 2 yards. Really isn't seeing much action there. But maybe after Josh Jacobs has this legendary career in Green Bay and we move on, we can start betting Chris Brooks again. Tucker Kraft had a carry. Tucker Kraft had 2 receptions. Jaden Reed had the most targets out of that wide receiving core. He had 3 receptions for a touchdown. 26-yard touchdown, 45 yards total, 5 targets. So for the targets out of the wide receiver group for Green Bay, it went Jaden Reed with 5, Romeo Doubs with 4, Tucker Kraft with 4, Dontavian Wicks with 2, and the new rookie Matthew Golden with 2. So something I do want to highlight here. Let's see if I can bring this up. So it was Jaden Reed. I want to put Reed here. Reed got the most targets for Green Bay. And who was it for? Oh, it was Debo. Absolutely. It was hands down Debo. Debo and Reed. Debo and Reed got the most targets. Again, it's just 1 week, guys. We don't want to overreact too much. And I think it's very unrealistic that Debo continues that big workload going deep into the season. I really find that hard to believe, and I think that's a big reason that they brought back Terry McLaurin. But another guy you could look at out of that Commander wide receiving core would be Noah Brown. He's been pretty consistent the past 2 years. Obviously, you got Zach Ertz as a tight end, sure-hand guy that's been around the league for a while. Chris Moore had a really nice 34-yard catch, and I actually need to dig into his snap count. Because Chris Moore could be a very sneaky guy. Very, very sneaky guy. Let's see here. Let's see if we can bring this up. Okay, well, that's not. That doesn't help us at all. Okay. But yeah, I think this has potential to be not as good as Bills-Ravens, by no means, but you're talking, I mean, everybody's picking the Packers to be number 1 in the NFC, right? Maybe number 2 behind Philly. Everyone's picking the Commanders to win their division out of the NFC East. So you're talking about a divisional round preview here for the playoffs coming up. Potentially NFC Championship game, depending on how they do in the playoffs and like what their seeds are. So I know I'm super excited for it. Let's dive on in and see if we can find a few plays. So the goal of today is to find 3 plays to put in a parlay for tomorrow, Thursday Night Football. And I would like for those odds to be around 10, 20 to 1, so plus 10,000. I'm sorry, plus 1,000, plus 2,000, somewhere in there. And I kind of was doing a little bit of research before we hopped on here. There's a few different things that I want to kind of target here. Let me bring this up. So one thing, one line that I'm really, really thinking about is Jordan Love rushing yards. Let me bring this up here. Oh, Commanders, Packers. There we go. Player Jordan Love. Rushing yards. Okay. So right now his rushing yards are set at about 5.5. 6.5, 5.5, depending on the book. Last year, he did not run like hardly at all. He was very like almost a statue in the pocket. Would never ever look to run. And I feel like a lot of people are thinking that's going to carry over to this year. But I'm kind of like thinking he's going to start to pick up those wheels again. And LaFleur is going to like cut him loose. If you go back, let me find it here. I got it. I got this tab somewhere. Give me just a second. Yeah, if you go back and look up last season, he did miss week 2 with an injury. He got hurt in the season opener against the Philadelphia Eagles. If you go back and look, he only had 25 carries last year for 83 yards and 1 touchdown. 25 carries for an entire season. That's not very good. But if you go back to the year before he got injured, he had 50 carries, so he just doubled his carries for 4 touchdowns. That's an average of like 2.5, 3 a game, pretty much. Some games he rushed 4 times. His high was 39 yards. He had a 37-yard run in one game, 15-yard run, 10-yard run, 26, 24, and 24, 11, 8, 8. So he's definitely got potential to rip one off. Even in blowouts, he's rushing double digits, or he was. They beat the Bears by 18 points. He ran for 12 yards. Close games, he runs it. Even in losses. Trying to see if there was a big blowout. Detroit Lions, they won by 7. He had 39 yards there. Against the Chiefs, they won by 8, and he had 10 yards. So they're covering those lines regardless of like the winning margin, whether they're blowing teams out or if they're playing them close. So I think one leg that I'm looking to add here is over 9.5 on rushing yards. Hold on, let's see if 6.5. Okay, we'll play it a little bit safe here. All right, plus money is over 6.5. We'll just lock in one of those there. We'll just lock in. So let's see what we should get rid of here. Let's see. Let's just change this to what we're looking for. J Love. I like it. Jordan Love over 6.5 rushing yards. All right, so we need 2 more. We need 2 more to make a nice 3-leg parlay here. Nice little long shot for us. It'd be cool if we can find 2 other ones at plus money. I touched on it earlier, but Jaden Daniels threw 30 times last week against the Giants, and that was they were like in the lead the entire game pretty much. So if you look at the spread, the Commanders are underdogs by 3.5 points. Green Bay's got some firepower behind them, so they could take a big lead. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be throwing it even late in the game. Where's his pass attempts? Right here, Jordan Love. His over-under is set about literally 30. 31.5 is what it's going for. Let's see. Perfect. This is going to shape up. We're going to shape up really well here. Really, really well. Okay. So up next, we're going to tap JD5. Not JD%. That's my bad. Over 31.5 pass attempts. You just got to think they're going to lean on the pass. Especially, I mean, their backfield's like loaded with running backs. They have 4 running backs they could trot out there and give 5+ carries to. Just kind of crazy. Okay, now let's kind of get a bigger one here. Let's kind of get a bigger play, shall we? I really want to tap Jeremy McNichols, or whatever the heck his first name is. I really want to tap McNichols for an anytime touchdown scorer. But, like, I feel like he's going to get a healthy scratch. I'm just curious to see what it is. Jeremy McNichols, touchdowns, 1,400, so 14-1 for 1. That's I don't think he'll go. I don't. If he ends up scoring, man. All right. Now, I know I said I was going to wait. I think we got to look at Terry McLaurin receiving yards. I think we got to. Actually, not receiving yards, receptions here. Okay, let's look at his receptions, shall we? Let's go up here to the PFF matchup. Let's go lineups. Let's see who's going to be lining across from Scary Terry most of the night. It's going to be Valentine, ranks 20th out of 96 with a 72.5 PFF ranking. I almost said power ranking there. Scary Terry. Samuel. Debo Samuel in the slot, running all over. Noah Brown. Played 33 snaps. That's my bad. Played 32 snaps. 33, one in the slot. Out wide. Probably going up against Nixon would be my guess. Neighbors had 2 there. Ertz. I don't know. I kind of like Noah Brown. I mean, if I think he's going to be throwing it, you know, I like correlated props. If I think he's going to be throwing it, I got to tap Noah Brown receptions, Zach Ertz receptions. Terry McLaurin receptions, you know. Noah Brown over 2.5 is plus 152. You could play it safe and do over 1.5. I think if he goes over, though, I think if Jaden goes over, Noah Brown's going to catch at least 3 or 4 balls. Big-bodied receiver. I think that's going to be it. Noah Brown over 2.5, not 25, dude. Receptions. I like it right there. That's what I think we're rolling with. No touchdown scorers as of right now. The model does not like any, but you'll have that. You'll have that. I'm kind of really liking this play. Kind of liking it. Another reason I like Jordan Love on the rushing is if you look at the matchup that he has, the Commanders' defensive line is absolutely stacked. Like, totally stacked here. And you got some decent to above average back end, cornerback, and safety help back there. They got the 6th ranked strong safety in Harris, according to PFF. You got Kinlaw, 89.7 grade, Goldman, 84.0 grade, and Payne, 77 grade on that defensive line. I mean, that ranks 3rd, 5th, and 11th on D-line, respectively. Like, they're going to get after him, or at least flush him out, I think. And it's not like he's put, like, a lot of, like, rushing threat film out there for them to study. So I really don't think like Dan Quinn's going to come and like be beating the podium saying we got to stop him running. We got to stop Jordan Love from scrambling and stuff. I really don't think so. So 1 rush, we can hit that number. Actually, I think we're going to bump it up just a bit. We're going to bump it up just a bit here. Jordan Love, where's it at? Jordan Love. Rushing yards. We're going to say he gets 10 or more. Of course, you can't feel that. Okay, cool. All right, so that right there. Jordan Love over 6.5 rushing yards. JD5 over 31.5 pass attempts. And Noah Brown over 2.5 receptions. I think they all have really good matchups. The only one I'm kind of worried about is Noah Brown. That's just because he has the longest odds. I think these are really correlated well here. Plus 625 is what I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm looking at right now. So you guys will be seeing this in the Discord later. But let's go.